Hello, and welcome back to day 3 on how to write a persuasive speech. So let's take a look up above. In the last few days, we have worked on these posters right here. We've learned that to write a persuasive speech, you need to first write a thesis. Your thesis needs to be brave and bold. And then also you need to gather reasons and evidence to support your thesis. So right now on day 3, you should have a thesis statement, a lovely outline that outlines the 3 reasons why you think your thesis statement is true. And then finally, you should have turned the outline into 3 awesome paragraphs. So now that you have your 3 paragraphs, your writing is looking really, really awesome, but it is still missing 2 very, very important pieces. So I think you guys might be familiar with these 2 words. Your writing now needs an introduction and a conclusion. So these are things that students forget about all the time, but they are so, so important for you to consider your audience. So what I mean by that is that an introduction and a conclusion help your story and help your reader or your audience understand what you're talking about a little bit more. In an introduction, you need to get your readers ready. And in a conclusion, you need to remind them about all of the things you just taught them or all of the reasons you gave them to believe something. Okay, so let's go over what's on the board right now. An introduction. This is what you're supposed to do when you're writing an introduction. Tell your reader what your writing is about. It is really important to tell your reader what your writing is all about because it's going to help them and their brain get ready for all of the reasons that you are going to tell them about later. Your conclusion, you need to remind your readers what you believe and all the reasons why. This helps them to believe your thesis statement so much more. You need to gather up all of the reasons, put it into one little paragraph for them, and help them to remember at the end of your story or your speech all the reasons why they should believe you and believe that bananas are the best fruit ever. So we're going to be focusing on writing these 2 today, okay? I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you my introduction and my conclusion to my banana story. Okay, so now let's take a look at an example that I made for you. So starting with our introduction, do you have a favorite fruit? I do. Whoops, I forgot my K right there. That's supposed to say think. I think bananas are the yummiest fruit ever, and I will tell you why. So, super simple, right? It sounds like a really big deal to write an introduction, but it's super simple. It's usually just a few sentences that do these things. They need to say your thesis statement. So I have that stuck right in here. I think bananas are the yummiest fruit ever. And I need to let them know what I'm going to be doing in my speech. I'm going to be telling them why, okay? Another thing that I added to my introduction, which you can do and helps your reader be a little bit more interested, is I asked a question at the very front. I call that a hook. The hook helps your reader be a little bit more engaged in your story and get engaged from the very beginning. So now let's take a look at the conclusion. Still have my pineapple here. I'll move it out of the way. So now you know why I believe bananas are the best. They are sweet, fun to bake with, and easy to eat. So, as you can see, what I put in this conclusion was my thesis statement again. See, I told you it was going to be the star. I had to say my thesis statement again, and in my conclusion, I want to remind my reader of all the reasons that I've already talked about. It sounds like a lot of repeating, but that's what you need to do in the speeches, and that's what we're going to be looking for today. So, I said those reasons right here. So you can go a little bit farther and stretch your conclusion. Conclusions are really important parts of your story, but we're going to keep it basic right here. If you want, we can end something at the end that says something like, do you agree with me? Kind of like we started with a question, we can end with a question too. But right now we're going to keep it simple. You need your thesis statement and you need to repeat all the reasons you just talked about, okay? So today, I think you guessed it, you're going to add to your writing an introduction and a conclusion. So now your writing is complete. It should look like an introduction first, 3 paragraphs for the 3 reasons to support your thesis, and then a conclusion. You should have 5 paragraphs in all. I'm so excited to see your writing, and I know your teachers are excited to see yours too. So please share them when you're done.